Okay, guys, so let's talk a little bit more about what class is going to look like. What class is going to look like is there's going to be the main content of the course is going to be videos like this. And I'm going to put up like 6 videos or 5 videos or something in a little YouTube playlist. I'm going to link from Blackboard to that. Your job is really pretty straightforward. You got to watch all the videos, and there's going to be 2 sets of like 6 10-minute videos up a week, and you're going to watch those videos. And then you're going to comment on the videos. And you're not going to comment on YouTube. You're going to go back to Blackboard, and there'll be a discussion board area on there for you to discuss what's going on in the videos. What's going on in the videos? The videos are going to be me going through Plato's Phaedrus. And I'm going to read a couple of sentences and talk about them, and read a couple of sentences and talk about them, and read a couple of sentences and talk about them. Sometimes I'm going to stop and do a whole sidebar thing. So like I might hit a word that we need to look up in the dictionary, and this might result in like a 10-minute thing about how dictionaries work and what kind of interesting. I'm kind of obsessed with dictionaries because I'm a nerd. But it's going to be a whole thing where we go through the dictionary and look at it, and then we'll go back to Plato. And we might take large breaks from Plato, and we may take very small breaks from Plato. But the idea is that we're going to try to go through Plato, and theoretically, I'm hoping we can hit the end of the Plato at about 10 weeks in. And that's kind of my goal. And along the way, we're going to learn all kinds of things. We're going to learn how to quote and and all that little sort of technical information that you're used to thinking of as in like footnotes or whatever, works bibliography. We're going to make it won't be exactly like that, but we're going to make like a works cited and stuff, and there'll be sidebars on how to do research and research stuff, but basically every day is going to be anchored to this book by Plato that we're going to go through word by word. At the end of the semester, if you've watched all the videos, you can tell people for the rest of your life that you read an entire book written by an ancient philosopher named Plato about Socrates. So that'll be pretty good. Um, and that's basically the plan. There will also be and I'll have all kinds of sidebar lessons and stuff, but that's really the centerpiece of it. So that's the class, is responding and thinking about it. Now, obviously, I put a copy of the Phaedrus on Blackboard for you. It's under course content. You can click on it, download it, and you can read it on devices. You can print it out and mark it up, whatever you want to do. It's tough to read on your own. Don't let that discourage you. It's difficult. Plato is a very famous and difficult philosopher, and it's going to take some work to get through it. Now, I would be happy. I think it's a great idea for you to read ahead to what we're, before the videos come up, and to just take a pass at it. And if there's stuff in there that confuses you, just, maybe you could look it up, or maybe sometimes let it go. You'll see when I go through Plato, I'm going to hit stuff. Plato might name several famous people back then, and I'm going to be like, I don't care about any of these people. Let's just move on. So it's not like, I'm not going to be quizzing you on, the random people that he mentions in the thing. But, if you can read ahead just to get a sense, just to get the gist of it, just to get, a base of the vibe of the thing. So you're welcome to read ahead, and I'll let you know there's going to be one of the nice things about Plato's Phaedrus that I like that makes it useful for teaching a course like this is it's divided into 3 sections, and the sections are quite different. Actually, this is a kind of strange thing to say, but 100 years ago, 200 years ago, people didn't like Plato's Phaedrus. And one of the reasons they didn't like it is they felt like it didn't make any sense because they thought that a book should be about one thing. And Plato's Phaedrus has like several different topics that don't exactly go together very well. And so people thought this is not a good book because there's a bunch of different sections that don't even seem to match up. Now, I think they do match up, but they are quite different from each other, which makes it really good for a class like this because it means we can read one book, but we'll be able to talk about quite a few different things. So there's 3 sections in the Plato. Section number 1 is basically speeches against love. And it is Socrates discussing with Phaedrus why love is bad. After that, there's a whole section why love is super important. And he's talking about romantic love and physical love, but also kind of cosmic love and religious love and love for everybody and that kind of love for humanity and that kind of thing. So then there's a whole other so section number 1 is about why love is bad, and section number 2 is about why love is good. Section number 3 is the most interesting to me. Section number 3 is about writing and speaking, because Socrates and Phaedrus have been this whole time debating love. And then so section 1 is why love is bad, section 2 is why love is good, and section 3 is really like what are we doing when we debate? What is the point of words and language, and how do they work? And is speaking out loud better, or is writing things down in books better? And then what does it take to persuade people? And what do you have to do to get people to listen to you? And are there ways of making people listen to you that are bad or immoral? And they have this whole discussion about sort of the nature of public speaking, the nature of being persuasive, the nature of making arguments, and that's the last section of the book. So those are the 3 sections we're going to look at, and each one of those is going to be in like units. And basically, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but basically, section number 1 is September, and section number 2 is October, and section number 3 is November. And that is the plan. So, yeah. There is a 4th section to this. And each one of those units is going to come with a paper. So you'll have paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. And the papers, which you can look at right now, they're on Blackboard under the assignments section. And the papers are pretty straightforward. The papers are, there's a quote from Plato, and you're going to discuss the quote and summarize it and tell me what it means and what the hell he's talking about. And then you're going to tell me how much you agree with it. And then you're going to tell me why. And maybe you'll imagine what somebody who disagreed with you would say, and you'll put that down. And then you'll say why those people are wrong. And that's it. And you'll do that multiple times. You'll be able to do each one of those papers more than once. There's 3 papers. You can do each paper twice and raise your grade on the paper if you don't like the grade you got on your first draft. And the first one's due at the end of September, and the second one's due at the end of October, and the third one's due at the end of November. So that's basically the pattern to the course. And the only other thing that really affects your grade is commenting. You got to comment on the blog and discuss things. You have to go to the discussion board, and you have to say things about the videos that I'm making here. So that's it, really. And there's a bunch of, and this you can read up about that in the assignment section, and there's all other kinds of useful handouts in there. There is a 4th section that I should tell you about. December, we do something slightly different. In December, all the 101 classes across BMCC all do the same thing. Now, I picked Plato because I like Plato, but in December, the sort of 2 weeks we have in December are going to be spent on readings picked out by the English department. And that's going to be the same no matter what. If you drop my class and take it with somebody else, there's going to be a whole other section for them. If you take my class, if you drop my class and take it with someone else, that section will have totally different readings. But at the end, the final paper, the final readings will be the same no matter what. And the English department has picked some things. I believe the theme is happiness, but I can look that up. And that's the plan basically. So we're going to and for that section, we'll stop looking at Plato and we'll start looking at these other philosophers, and we'll talk about them using all the same skills that we've already had. And that's about it for that section. And then there'll be a timed sort of Blackboard essay where you have to quote both those 2 guys in answering questions. And that's basically it. So, yes, I drink LaCroix. It's hot out here. And that's the last section of the paper. So that's the last section of class. So there are 4 sections of class, and that's what we're going to be doing with it. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So let me see everything else I want to say here. Yeah. So that's basically it. This class is simple and it's straightforward, and all you have to do is kind of practice with it. And it's not difficult, and I'm glad you're here. This is obviously a crazy time in America and a crazy time at BMCC, and world online classes is nuts. And you have my email address. You can email me anytime. I also have office hours, and you can Zoom office hours, where you can talk to me on the phone or do a kind of face-to-face video chat if you feel like. That's Fridays from 2 to 5. And that's basically the plan for the course. So I think the next video I'm going to go through the website and kind of give you a sense of what the website should look like and what's there. And then we're gonna get started. So I think that's about it. We're doing good. Okay, I'm feeling good. Yeah, all right. And here is the website, which we will look at in the next video. And I have it on my student preview mode here, so we will take a look at that. Cool. And this is what the Blackboard looks like. And I tried to make this as simple as humanly possible. So I will pick that up in the next video, which will be about the website. All right, cool.